Hola, soy la profesora Clark, and today's video lesson will be on la hora, telling the time. The first things we need to do to begin is to understand that la hora is the main unit of telling time in Spanish. It is a feminine noun, and that must be kept in mind when considering agreement. Also, since time consists of more than 1 hour, singular and plural must be kept in mind. Las preguntas. There are 2 questions in Spanish that are used for time. ¿Qué hora es? And ¿a qué hora? ¿Qué hora es is simply used to tell the time on the clock, so you'll use the clock. But ¿a qué hora would indicate the time of an event, and it has a preposition in the question, ¿a qué hora? And then these following dots would be asking for the time of an event. Usually, when we talk about events, we will use an additional verb, ser, to express events. So each of these questions has a distinct meaning, and we will explore question 1 right now. ¿Qué hora es? Simplemente, when we're referring to hours 2 through 12, you would answer in the plural. So, ¿qué hora es? Your verb is in the singular, would be the question, and your answer is going to be son las dos if you're referring to 2 o'clock, son las tres if you're referring to 3 o'clock, or son las ocho if you're referring to 8 o'clock. Since all of these hours are not 1 o'clock, you're answering plural. Son is plural, las, your article, is plural, and dos, number 2, is obviously plural. Son las tres, son las ocho. However, when referring to hour number 1, you answer in the singular and feminine. ¿Qué hora es? Es la una. Because 1 is singular and hour is feminine, it's going to be singular and feminine. Other expressions. Normally, you would want to refer to the time of day along with the hour, and in order to do that in English, we would add an AM or a PM. But in Spanish, we would add the phrasing, the prepositional phrasing, de la madrugada to refer to the early morning, de la mañana to refer to the morning, de la tarde for the afternoon, and de la noche for the evening. So you would see simply son las tres de la tarde would be this or this. Other time expressions. If you want to refer to just a general time period of the day and not a specific hour, you would use a por la mañana or por la tarde or por la noche. So, my example would be hay clase por la tarde. This literally means there is clase in the afternoon time. Not a specific time. It could be 1 o'clock, it could be 2 o'clock, it could be 4:15. It's just that there's class in the afternoon time. Trabajo por la mañana also indicates that you would work in the morning. It could be 7 o'clock in the morning, it could be 8:30, it could be 11:59. It's not a specific time. So just remember, for specific times, you're going to use a de, and for general times, you're going to be using a por. There are other time expressions. Noon, for example, is mediodía. And keep in mind that when we're looking at mediodía, it is masculine. Mediodía. Día is masculine. Medio agrees with it. They put it together in a compound word. And now when we're talking about noon, it's mediodía, which literally means half day. Likewise, you have midnight, media noche. Since noche is feminine, you add media to it, you get medianoche. Es la medianoche, which literally means it's the half night or midnight. Half past would be y media. or sometimes with the digital clock it would be y30. So to say that it is 12:30 p.m., son las 12:30 de la tarde. And again, a quarter past is going to be y cuarto, and if you're using a digital clock, it would be y15. So if you want to say it's 1:15 in the morning, es la 1:15 de la madrugada. Another thing to keep in mind is that sometimes it's customary to subtract from the top of the hour. So if I have this time, which could either be son las 2:45 if I count from the beginning of the hour, it could also be son las 3:45 if I count from the end of the current hour. So son las 3:45, son las 3:15. That would literally mean it is 3 minus a quarter, or 3 minus 15 minutes, which would be 2:45. In English, it would be it's 2:45, or 15 till 3. The second question is a qué hora, and this would express at what time, and it usually refers to an event and is sometimes accompanied with the following verbs. Ser, which is pertinent to this chapter, but sometimes I could use iniciar, or terminar, or tener, or empezar. And we'll learn how to conjugate tener and empezar in later chapters, but for now we're going to focus on ser. And if we look at some of the grammar, I've color-coded it. So, ¿a qué hora es la clase? La clase es a las 3 de la tarde. What I'm trying to illustrate here is how each part of the question relates to the answer. You'll see that the verb stays consistent. A form of ser will be in your question and your answer. La clase, which would be your noun and also your subject, would perform the verb and it would agree. And so the only part of the question that you're truly answering is going to be ¿a qué hora? ¿A qué hora? A las 3 de la tarde. ¿A qué hora es la clase? La clase es a las 3 de la tarde. ¿A qué hora? A la 1 de la tarde. ¿A qué hora es la conferencia? La conferencia es a la 1 de la tarde. ¿A qué hora? A las 3:15 de la tarde. ¿A qué hora es la cita? La cita es a las 3:15 de la tarde. One of the things that we should keep in mind with question and answer is that if there is an "a" in the question, most likely there will be an "a" in the answer. Another thing to keep in mind is the verb that's in the question most likely will be used in your answer. In summary, there are two distinct questions that refer to the time. Referring to a general time of day would use a por expression, and referring to a time specific, that would be a de expression. Agreement, especially when it comes to feminine and plural, is necessary when telling time. And many individuals will subtract from the top of the hour to tell the time, but more and more with digital clocks, it's not as popular. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully this information is helpful for you, and you'll be able to apply it to a future speaking exam. Ciao and hasta pronto.